There's another merger in the works within the junior exploration space. Consolidation of the sector has continued apace with one of the latest transactions, which we're admittedly a bit behind on covering, featuring the combination of two silver explorers. Of course, we're talking the merger between Silver47 and Summa Silver, which we actually aren't that entirely behind on, considering we had the CEOs from both names on for an interview, which you could check out here. All right, folks, let's dive in. Silver47 and Summa Silver have agreed to combine forces in what they are referring to as an at-market merger, which in essence means that no premium is being provided to shareholders on either side of the transaction. Instead, the two explorers are joining forces in an effort to scale up operations while having better access to capital. The theory behind the deal effectively amounts to establishing a premier high-grade focused silver explorer with a portfolio of major silver projects that are predominantly focused in the United States. Which, not to get political, but under the current US administration is probably a good idea if you're looking to secure investor dollars. In addition to the portfolio of US-focused assets, the transaction is expected to increase Silver47's appeal to global investors, and potentially support the inclusion of the company in silver-focused indices and ETFs, which is a big appeal. We said in a recent company profile of Silver47 that the goal of the company is to achieve resources of 1 billion ounces of silver equivalent across their asset base. And this merger is basically a continuation of that strategy, with the company now pushing dramatically closer to that target. On a post-consolidation basis, Silver47 will have resources of 10 million ounces of silver equivalent at 333 grams per ton in the indicated category, and a further 236 million ounces of silver equivalent at 334 grams per ton within the inferred category, meaning they're about 25% of the way to their target goal. Combined, the two explorers are said to have an enterprise value to ounce metric of just 19 cents per ounce of silver equivalent based on this pro forma resource. Peers such as BlackRock Silver and Outcrop Silver trade at a comparable 58 cents and $1.20 per ounce of silver equivalent, respectively. Let's get into those properties a bit more, since it's the main part of this entire operation. Followers of the deep dive should be familiar with Silver47's portfolio of assets, specifically the flagship Red Mountain project. Found in Alaska, the project is found 100 kilometers south of Fairbanks and covers 620 square kilometers of prospective ground. The project consists of two parts: the western SEDEX targets, where 8 targets exist for further exploration, and the eastern portion, where there are 14 VMS targets, including the Dry Creek and Western Tundra Flats deposits. Among these 22 targets, only 2 have had enough exploration conducted to establish a resource, and well, it's sizable. A total of 169 million ounces of silver equivalent at 336 grams per ton exists within the current resource estimate here, all within the inferred category. Summa Silver, meanwhile, brings to the table the Hughes project in Nevada and the Mogollon project in New Mexico to round out the duo's portfolio of US-based assets. The flagship asset here for Summa is the Hughes project, found roughly halfway between Las Vegas and Reno near Tonopah within the increasingly popular Walker Lane trend. At 5,500 acres in size, the project contains a resource across 3 separate categories. First is the 10.3 million ounces of silver equivalent at 333 grams per ton within the indicated category. Next is 32.9 million ounces of silver equivalent at 421 grams per ton within the inferred category. And then there is a further 2.7 million ounces at 68 grams per ton within a separate inferred resource focused on historical tailings. The Mogollon project is found in New Mexico, 120 kilometers from Silver City in the southwest corner of the state. This project is estimated to contain 32 million silver equivalent ounces at a grade of 367 grams per ton within the inferred category. And that estimate is based on a mineral resource estimate that covers just 2.4 kilometers of the 77 kilometers of known vein and structure. All 3 projects are said to be underexplored, while holding the potential for resource expansion. Post-transaction, the company is expected to see Gary Thompson, the current CEO of Silver47, move into the role of executive chairman, while Galen McNamara, the current CEO of Summa Silver, will transition to the role of CEO for Silver47. While Thompson is a seasoned geologist with experience in exploration and company building, McNamara is known for being the co-founder of Goldshore Resources and Sanu Gold, in addition to Summa Silver. McNamara also previously served as a senior project manager at NextGen Energy. Summa's current VP of Exploration, Chris York, will transition to VP of Operations, while Summa CFO, Martin Bajic, will continue that role at Silver47 post-merger. Silver47's VP of Exploration, Alex Wallace, will remain in that role. The board of directors, meanwhile, is set to consist of Thompson and McNamara, while Thomas O'Neill from Summa Silver and Ryan Goodman from Silver47 will round out the remaining positions. All right, let's briefly get into the terms of the deal here. With Silver47 set to be the continued company, Summa Silver shareholders can expect to receive 0.452 shares of Silver47 for each share of Summa held. As we said previously, this is an at-market mergers of equal, so no premium has been assigned to Summa. On a post-transaction basis, Silver47 shareholders will own 56% of the resulting company, while Summa shareholders will own 44%. On a pro forma basis, the resulting issuer is expected to have 126 million shares outstanding, which, based on a share price of 61 cents per share, will have a market cap of $77 million and an enterprise value of $67 million. Eric Sprott is expected to hold a 12% interest in the resulting issuer, while 15% will be held by other institutions and strategic investors. Management, meanwhile, will hold an estimated 10%. The transaction, of course, remains subject to shareholder approval, with 66 2/3 of shareholders required to approve the transaction, with Summa management agreeing to vote in favor of the deal. A special meeting of shareholders is scheduled to take place in June, with the transaction expected to close sometime in the third quarter of this year. A concurrent best efforts financing for gross proceeds of up to $5 million is also to be conducted in connection with the merger, with the funds from that financing to be used for further exploration. All right, so let's wrap it up. As far as M&A goes, this is a rather simple transaction. The name of the game here is securing ounces in the ground in pursuit of that 1 billion ounce goal of silver equivalent target, while also improving the appeal of the Explorer to both retail and institutional investors. The added benefit here is that all the projects are North American based, with the potential for upside from further exploration. Looking forward, resource expansion is already on the horizon, with expansion drill programs planned across all major projects for 2025. A resource estimate update is also scheduled for Red Mountain, which is to be released in Q1 of 2026 and will be followed by a PEA with the further assessment for critical minerals ongoing. Further accretive M&A transactions are also said to be in the process of being reviewed, so investors also have that to look forward to. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I don't know about you guys, but I am thrilled to see some M&A happening in the space. I think that what we're seeing is more and more of the quality companies coming together because capital is getting tight right before it all starts flowing in, which is honestly creating just a massive torquey setup for those of you that are crazy enough to be watching this video right to the very end. Guys, I think you are at the right place at the right time if you're watching this video. And I think that we are going to have lots of success in this space investing in all these names. It's just a matter of doing our due diligence and picking the right ones. All right, everybody, thanks for watching.